Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments. Every week, I take a look at the real estate market here in Central Florida, specifically the Villages. For those who don't know, the Villages is a 55 plus community. We have championship golf courses, we have executive golf courses. There is live entertainment in 4 town squares every night of the week. There's recreation, shopping, dining, and as many social activities as you can make time for. I think currently there are more than 3,000 active clubs in the Villages for whatever interest you have. But regarding this show, if you want to know what's happening with real estate in the Villages, what's happening with prices, short-term, long-term trends, price per square foot, what types of homes are selling, where they're selling. And if you want to get a perspective on the differences between the different regions of the Villages, this is the show for you. I've divided the Villages into 4 geographic areas. You'll get a good idea as to the differences between them, how active they are, and what the price differences are. But a couple of things to note. First, the Villages has 2 distinct marketplaces, the VLS and the MLS. The VLS is the Village's own internal listing service. It's the only place where you will find new properties listed, but pre-owned homes are both on the VLS and the MLS. What this means is that if you're a buyer and you only have a VLS agent, you will not be able to see any of the MLS homes available for sale. And if you're a seller, you'll need to decide whether to list with VLS or with MLS. We produce this show every week on Monday. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. And I hope that after watching this show, you'll have an idea as to why, if you're a buyer, our approach might help you find a good deal here. And if you're a seller, why our approach can help justify the highest reasonable asking price. So if you need to reach me, I can be reached either at DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to help you or answer any questions you have. And if you find this information valuable, please consider liking or subscribing to the show. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. So let's take a look at what's happening this week. We start every week by taking a look at what's happening with interest rates. What you see are the rates generally available today, which are up very slightly from where they were last week. Currently, I don't think rates are having much of an impact. I know sellers are hoping that lower rates will bring buyers. We'll see how that works out here in the Villages. So now let's orient you as to where the Villages is. We are in Central Florida. We're about an hour north of Orlando, about an hour from coasts on the east and the west. And we're zooming in on all active listings on the MLS in the Villages. The map you're looking at is showing you all active listings. There are 5 different sizes of dot and 5 different colors. The size of the circle denotes the size of the home, and the color denotes its price per square foot. The larger the circle, the larger the home. The darker the circle, the lower per square foot. So a large bright circle will be a large house at an expensive price per square foot, and a small dark circle will be a small home at an inexpensive price per square foot, relatively that is. I've zoomed in on the listings around Lake Sumter, and I'm going to switch back and forth between price per square foot and price. And you're looking at the same listings here, but just a different way of looking at the information. I think looking at values on a price per square foot basis is a good start. So now let's look at what's happening long-term trend-wise in the Villages real estate market. Currently this week, 510 active listings. Last week, only 499. Last year, it was only 298. I know those of you who have been following this channel know that this is no surprise, but I think it's reasonable to expect that inventory will continue to rise through the end of the year. Prices in the Villages currently range from 134.9, originally 142. Most expensive home in the Village is currently $2,899,000, down from 2,950. And I've zoomed in on this graph over the last year so that you can get an idea as to more immediate price trends. The trend on this graph is just the last year's data. This is the data point everybody always asks me about, the median list price for all active listings on the MLS. This week, 258.80. Last week, 259.32. Last year, 259.83. I started doing this last week and it got a good reaction, so I will keep doing it. What I'm showing you are maps indicating where properties at a specific price point are located. First, we're going to look at all those properties under 200,000. These are the properties priced between 200 and 400,000. These are between 400,000 and 600,000. And notice as the price increases, so does the size of the home and its price. So you'll see the circles getting larger and lighter. The 600 to $800,000 homes, these homes are priced between 800,000 and a million. And finally, these are the homes on the MLS priced at over $1 million. If you have any questions about any of these properties, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida. Be happy to help you. We're going to take a look at the villages as I've divided it into 4 geographic areas. You can see the differences between them. There really is a difference between the northern part of the villages and the southern part. The southern part is where all of the most recent construction activity is taking place. You will find neighborhoods where the vegetation is more established in the north. It's a question of what you're looking for. I've divided them into 4 distinct geographic regions. The north, which is everything south of 42 and north of 466, 229 active listings in this area. The mid-north, south of 466 and north of 466A, 143 homes listed in this area. The mid-south, which is everything south of 466A and north of 44, 68 homes. And in the south, 70 homes, and these are all the homes south of Highway 44. I'm going to show you the differences between the regions of the villages where the activity is. So let's start with all listings. As I said, this week there are 510. The smallest home currently in the villages is 840 square feet, the largest 4,216 square feet. Price per square foot ranges from 104 to 776, and prices in the villages currently on the MLS range from 135,000 to just under $3 million. Now we'll compare the different areas. We'll start with the north, 229 active listings, sizes ranging from 840 square feet to 2687, prices from 135,000 to 775, and per foot in the north ranging from 104 to 386. This is the mid-north, everything south of 466 and north of 466A. 143 active listings this week, 1,090 square feet, the smallest home currently, 4,216, the largest currently offered, per foot ranging from 211 to 675, and homes currently on the MLS from 260,000 to $1,300,000 in this area. This is the Mid-South, 68 current listings, 1,156 square feet, the smallest, 3,934 square feet, the largest, per foot ranging from 225 to 776, and prices in the Mid-South ranging from 280,000 to 2,899,000. And this is the South, 70 active listings, ranging in size from 961 square feet to 3,260. Prices ranging from 233,000 to 1,275,000, and per foot pricing ranging from 218 to 525. I've added this detail for those who care. We're looking at price ranges on the left and the least, median, and most per square foot in that price category. So for example, in the under $200,000 category, the least expensive home is $104 a square foot and the most expensive $197, with the median $177. In the $1 million plus range, the least per square foot is $283, most $776, and the median price for the MLS $1 million plus listings is $464 a foot. I do have individual data for the 4 different regions of the villages broken down in this fashion. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much data though, so please let me know in the comments if you'd like me to add it or if you'd like to access it through the website. This is the chart generating the second most interest. We're looking at new listings and homes going pending. This represents new supply and supply being taken off the market. New listings, new supply, pending home sales obviously being taken off the market. This week, 44 new listings and 35 homes going pending. Last week, 47 and 31. A year ago, 38 and 25. But as you look at this graph with the red line representing new listings and the black line representing pending home sales, it certainly appears obvious that new listings are continuing to increase and pending home sales are not. And the previous graph gives rise to this one, which is the difference between new listings and homes going pending. The zero line is a market in balance with as many homes being listed as going pending. This week, 9 more homes were listed than when pending. Last week, it was 16 more. A year ago, it was 13 more. But as you look at this graph, I would point you to how few occasions this graph has remained below -10, and we're now on our 5th week there. So let's look at the pending home sales. These are the homes that went pending last week. They went pending at a median 260.97 a foot, improving from the 259.52 of the previous week, but lower than the 262.95 that homes went pending at a year ago. And this is a graph that shows pressure on sellers. This is the price change for the homes that went pending last week. What was the change from the original list price? It did improve last week to a 5.56% reduction from a 6.76% reduction the previous week and a 6.35% reduction a year ago. But as you look at this graph, it doesn't seem evident that it will be turning up anytime soon. Now let's look at sales. Number of sales last week, 27. These are homes that closed last week. Previous week was also 27. Last year it was 29. Keep in mind this graph is a 4-week average. The numbers are actual data points. Last week the least expensive home closing was 235, a 6% reduction from 250. And the most expensive home closing last week was 450, which was a 2% reduction from 459. And that does seem noteworthy in terms of the highest price home selling for under 500,000 in a week. Here we're looking at the median price per square foot for the homes that closed last week. They closed at a median price of 250 a foot, down from 256 a foot of the previous week, and only marginally improved from the 246 a foot for the homes that closed the same week a year ago. These next two charts are fairly new. We're keeping track of seasonal trends. This is the number of sales per week. Last week, 27 homes closed. The year before, 29 homes closed. I don't have data for the same period 2 years ago. And if we divide listings by sales, we get weeks of inventory. This week, 18.9 weeks of inventory. Last week, 18.5. A year ago, it was barely half that at 10.2 weeks. And as I pointed out over the last few weeks, we are in a slow period through November or so here in the villages. So now let's look at all the listings once again, and this actually is quite a shocker because last week the percentage of listings that had a reduction from the original list price was under 52%, and this week it's over 54%. Last year it was only 53%. The graph does seem as if it's heading lower. Sellers are becoming more realistic here. If you're looking for a deal, please reach out to me. I'll try to find you one. But this graph does not show that pressure. This is the percentage of decrease for all listings. This week, 4.13% is the median decrease. Last week, 4.23. A year ago, 4.49. Keep in mind the previous graph was showing you what percentage of listings had reduced their asking price, and this graph is showing you by how much they have reduced it. If you're interested in buying in the villages and you're trying to find a good deal, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. And if you're interested in selling your home, I would be happy to advise you or consult with you and give you some data to justify the pricing decision that you need to make. Please reach out to me if I can help you. I hope to hear from you. Take care.